Hello, Sonder family. It is so good to welcome you this evening as we start digging into some journal prompts for the month. Before I get going, Christine is going to take her national counseling exam tomorrow. So, everybody, right now, send that good juju. You've got this, Christine. We're so proud of you, and we're so glad you joined us to kind of recenter your soul before you head into that. Congratulations. We're all proud of you. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy, and I get to be your facilitator tonight. I am dialing in from Dallas, Texas. Y'all, it was in the 70s for most of the day because it was cloudy and some cooler weathers moved through. So, I am happy, happy, happy. And oh, thanks, Andrea. She commented on my shirt. This is a very old shirt. It used to be my daughter's, and I got it out of her pile when she was going to give it away. Isn't that funny? So we have these wonderful journal prompts, and Malika and I are so proud of you for taking time this evening to join us as we work. These are so much better to work through together, right? Malika is my co-pilot this evening, and she is hopping on the camera. She's giving you a wave, and she'll be hanging out and answering questions along the way in the chat if there's anything that comes up. My apologies. I have been fighting COVID. I finally tested negative today, but the voice doesn't know that yet. So I'm a little scratchy. So I'm really glad to see you, but please bear with me. Wow. If I'm a little scratchy, I've got my water in case I start coughing. I think that's mostly resolved itself at this point. But nonetheless, I am thrilled beyond words to be with you. I haven't gotten to do a regular journal prompt in a long, long time. So I did put grab those supplies. Like you're gonna need more than just your pen tonight. We're gonna be digging in. I think I was with Katie this weekend or I don't know, somebody, and they said, grab those stickers and use them. Those stickers are begging to be used. We've got some fun ways to do that this evening. Our opening activity, it's wonderful. You're gonna love it. So as you know, we're going to be working on our letter to self, and then we're going to be kind of looking at some different ways of framing out that highlight of my day. No worries if you've already started reflecting upon those highlights. I love this journal because this month we get a highlight of the day, but we also have our gratitude jar. So if you're kind of, using both of those pages, it's a lot of fun. But yes, and Malika said, we are so glad to welcome you back if you've been to socials before, but if this is your first time, please just drop a me in the chat so our community can give you a really big welcome, because as you will find out, this is the most fabulous community you will be a part of. Very supportive. We create safe spaces when we're with each other, always a lot of love, courtesy to ourselves, to others. When we are together, we do share those community guidelines so that we do keep those spaces nice and safe. At any time you have any questions, drop them in here. So many of our Sonder family, we just support one another. We answer each other. We answer. Well, here's what I was thinking, and so you are invited to briskly get involved in the chat tonight. Do it wholeheartedly. um just a reminder though that when we do work in our journals, sometimes they might feel a little, Bailey says crunchy, I say itchy. Sometimes there's those prompts that just don't feel right. So always know, you can give yourself permission to sit back, get in good head spaces to work through things that are ever uncomfortable for you. Don't feel like you got to push through. It's okay. We're gentle, and it's about being here. Now, this is being recorded, so you'll be able to access it probably tomorrow, maybe the day after, on our private YouTube channel. So you can always go back and look at it. If something hits wrong tonight, you want to sit back for a little bit and color, feel free to do so. And let's see, and then your mics are off and your camera's off. And I'm going to play lots of music tonight so you can do the volume to where it meets your needs. Again, it's all about taking what you need. This is our first journaling social, other than the setups, digging into our new theme of knowledge. And if you're coming to weekly setups, we're looking at 4 different weeks, different types of knowledge in our life. I love these deep digs that we do. And so I think it's kind of fun that this sort of came soon after curiosity, because just a few months ago, we were embracing how curiosity works in our life. And now we're kind of keeping that same spirit alive by looking at where knowledge falls in our life. And by being here tonight, you're going to have some great personal reflection space to do so. So we've got the coolest little opening activity. I was real excited when I saw that it was on the screen, and then I started thinking about ways we can work with it. We will work on that letter to yourself, and then we're going to close out by me just suggesting some ways for you to consider the highlights of your day. So the first thing you're going to want to do is probably open a page to a notes page. But if you're super artsy, craftsy, you may want to get like a sheet of paper from your computer printer if you have one of those, maybe a construction piece of paper, because this activity is going to be pretty good about kind of tapping into that artistic side of ourselves. Now, that artistic journaling, those reflections, the way when we start doodling and doing that kind of stuff, it really does tap. I always talk about your brain. It taps into different parts of your brain when you have these artistic responses. However, if you are not in the headspace to create, it is okay. You can use words tonight. Don't worry about getting artsy, but remember, this is your journal. It's not going to be graded. Push yourself into maybe trying some new things. Oftentimes I'll go Google how to draw and then I do my best, because I really do feel like it's making my brain real happy to get some different kind of firing going on in there. All righty, so y'all have your paper, your markers, your stickers, your washi tape. I hope you're ready. So we are going to open tonight by working on our very own quilts. Now, I've mentioned before, I'm a amateur quilter. I'm an impatient quilter. I like to do fast projects, get them done. So anyway, Kate, you're gonna think about it. So I saw this, I was like, oh, a quilt right up my alley. Nothing better than a quilt to wrap yourself up in. I want you to imagine your knowledge, as this beautiful quilt. It's colorful, it's texture. Think about how warm it is, how it envelops you. Each patch on your quilt is going to embrace something different, a subject, a skill, an area of expertise. Once you start thinking about what makes up your quilt, right? What is on that quilt? Are there some things that are particularly vibrant or striking? And how do they all fit together to create a cohesive whole? We're parts, our life is everywhere, right? And it comes together to make us whole. Are there any gaps or areas you'd like to fill in? And if you could add a new patch, what would you put in? I kind of laughed at that one because they're all new patches tonight. But is there a new area that you'd like to explore in your life? What would that be and why? And then you're encouraged to draw a picture of a quilt with all the patches. And then, of course, we want to see your quilt in Sonder Club. Now, this is an exclusive activity for coming to this setup. So if you're not going to find it in your journal. So again, you might want to go to a notes page. Let me show you some ideas to kind of get that brain firing. And again, I'm going to give you lots of time to start working on this. You're probably not going to finish tonight, but you're going to get make good headway. Pardon me. So if your first thought is like, oh, I don't want to draw, Are you a Post-it note person? Because the quilt there on the left is made completely out of Post-it notes, just small Post-it notes cut in rectangle pieces. Or no, that would be a triangle. I do know my shapes. I mentioned grabbing a piece of printer paper. Maybe your quilt embraces lots of beautiful, vibrant markers, colors that you could use. Here's some examples of some drawings and some patterns that you could work in to this. And yes, Gloria, it took me a while. I'm getting ready to share mine with y'all. It took me a while, but I love it. Yes, with Beetlejuice, that's kind of got a black and white Beetlejuice vibe, but you might want to add some colors. Little example there in the middle, and then of course the example over on the right. I think I got it from like a art teacher's page. So this is a kid's drawing, but that is a what we call a crazy quilt, right? The pieces are all over. They're not centric and evened up, and so they're kind of that crazy patchwork type quilt. Now, Bailey, one of our co-facilitators, was working on hers. And so here's the beginnings of hers. And she started using kind of little symbols, and she's got some emotional squares in there, and some quilt squares that depict her career. Her home life is, pardon me, depicted with flowers. Her experiences are the little dots, little bubbles. So she was beginning hers. I wanted you to see that. And then I worked on mine, and I've labeled it to kind of give you an idea. And so I leaned into the idea of that scrappy, crazy quilt because, yeah, that seemed to be the right fit for me. And what I did is I have a solid space there. That stands for those solid things in my life. Um, my husband, my marriage, the relationship I have with one of my brothers, the relationship I have with kids, those relationships that are just solid, they stand firm. My family is all the hearts, the influential people. And I told Monica, most of these are my gals, people, my coworkers that I worked with, people I went to college with, my best friends. All those stripes represent all those many people who have helped me embrace knowledge in all different kinds of ways in my life. Of course, I learn all the time with trying new things in my hobbies. And so that patch has flowers because I'm a gardener. I work with a lot of fabrics. I do like to quilt, do like to sew, create. So that's kind of an homage to my garden and all the crazy collection of fabric I have. Below that solid blue, I did some wavies, and that's kind of the knowledge of my impact in the world. I'm very proud of the career I had. I'm very proud of the grandmother I am. And so I feel like that's that knowledge wave that sort of ripples out into the world. Adventures, trips, trying new things. That's that fun checkerboard because I learned so much from doing all of those things. Just put myself out there saying yes. Oh, Alexis, of course, I'm going to show you all of these screens again while we work on this prompt. I represented my career. Each one of those little half triangles is about 2 years of a career. Man, did I learn about life through that. Then all the various educational opportunities are represented by all those bubbles: college, high school, elementary, courses online. The ups and downs in life are those zigzags. Boy, talk about learning from those. And then the gray areas, that wavy stripe, that because I never know what life is going to bring. There's things that I still don't know the answers to, and I know things are coming down the pipe for me. So you think about using the colors and shapes in a way that represents your life. If you're really stuck and not quite sure which direction, think about maybe that wheel of life from a bit ago. How you could take those categories from the wheel of life. I've got them listed there, and maybe create spaces for each one of those. Also, fun recreation, contribution, personal growth. any Silk and Sonder theme. Maybe you frame this out through the themes that spoke the most to you. So I am so excited. I'm going to give you a good amount of time to work on this. I'll pop in, I'll share some things I see in the chat. Let us know like what materials you're going to start with. What are the things coming to your mind? Are you just kind of going to be in brainstorm mode tonight? And then I'll be back to check in with you in a little bit. Y'all have fun. Okay, so you've got a pretty good start, I would say. Some folks are already finished, Andrea, and have posted in Sonder Club. I love it. So this can be a little quilt that you work on. You know, quilts aren't supposed to be done overnight, says the most impatient quilter of all time. But we are going to go ahead and now take a look at it just felt good. I love it, Andrea. Thank you for loving that. Yes, and anytime we can really kind of dig in and think of our life in a creative way, it's you're so right, Katie. It's very therapeutic to like really dig into that paper. I loved making mine and I was so excited to share that with you. So now we're going to take a look at that letter on page 15. Now, if you are like, I've kind of had a rough week and I'm not in the headspace, then just hang out and listen to us and keep working on your quilt and maybe tackle the letter later when you feel fresher or more ready to do that. But the letter says, write a letter from your current self to your younger self. And given everything you've learned over the years, this one could be really long for some of us who are really old. What advice or wisdom would you want to share with your younger self? And just write freely and judgment free. And I know sometimes for me, writing to my younger self can feel uncomfortable. I really do have to be in a safe space, good headspace to work on that. So I wanted to remind you that before we get going on this, set some mental boundaries for yourself. If going back to that space is a hard place for you to go, make sure that you've put some boundaries in place. You don't have to go dig into everything, right? You have survived all your hard days, and we are here now. And so keep those boundaries, upstanding. Close your eyes and picture that younger version of yourself. Maybe there was a place in your life where you were vulnerable and really could have used a little piece of advice from someone. Picture that young person. Take some big, deep, calming breaths before you write. Just center yourself. If writing to younger you doesn't feel comfortable, it feels uncomfortable right now, write to current you or to future you, just sharing some of the things that you know to be true today, what you know to be true, things you have discovered along the way. Or you could consider changing this letter up a little bit and write to someone who could use a little mentoring or a little advice, maybe kind of Dear Abby style. I hope that's resonating for all of you. That was an advice column that was, it may still be in a newspaper. I don't know, but write as that advice columnist, basing your answer on what you do know. Focus on growth, not regret, because those imperfections were part of our journey. They are part of who we are. And then finally, an option, a way to maybe frame out this letter, if you wanted to, you could take on kind of a role as you write to a younger you. So maybe you write as a compassionate mentor. Who did that younger person need? Did they need a compassionate mentor? Did they need a time traveler who maybe you write as this time traveler coming back with the tea on what you know? Right now. What about maybe coming back as just that encouraging best friend or a reflective observer? Like, here's what I see, being very reflective and not judgmental. Here's what I notice when I am considering these things. Perhaps you write it from the perspective of being a storyteller. Let me tell you what is going to happen. And you write it as a storyteller or a gratitude giver. We are so thankful. I'm here to tell you, you are going to be so thankful for where you are. And here's why. Here are all the gratitudes we're going to shout out to. Or finally, maybe you're a strategic advisor and you'll be just giving a plan. Here's the plan in place, and you're going to rock it. So kind of think about maybe what you needed to hear then, and maybe becoming one of those personalities will help you be able to work on this letter. Again, I'm going to put on some gorgeous music for you and just kind of, share as you're comfortable the things that are coming up to you. Again, this is your time. Remember to take a deep breath before you dig in, and we'll be just here for you. The one thing about our recordings is that the chat doesn't exist in those recordings, and there were just some very beautiful things shared. So thank you for opening your heart and letting us in as you were comfortable. You may still be working on that letter, and that's okay. And I saw many folks that, I'm off the page, and it's okay. Make the letter as long as you want. If you want to sit down and write another letter, that's okay too. It's all about getting what you need at that moment. And sometimes it's not the right moment to write a letter. And then sometimes it's hard, but we dig in and do it. And it is so freeing and releases stuff from the past. So now let's take a really quick moment to look at this highlight of the day page. And you could, if you wanted, to think about like one favorite day in your whole life and write 30 things about that day. You could frame this out. But I have a feeling most of us are going to be using this page as kind of a monthly tracker, a little maybe morning or check in with ourself. And so I had some ideas for you just to kind of freshen up because sometimes, just these day to day to day writings, it's like, how can I bring a a little pizzazz to it? So I've got some ideas to share with you for you to consider. So you could, we've got our gratitude jar and we're going to have a social around that, but maybe your highlight could be very gratitude focused. Like, why are you grateful for that highlight? So you do all of the highlights this month with that gratitude focus or a sensory focus. Like, think about maybe one sense that was really brought to mind as you recall the highlight of your day. Perhaps there's some emotional insight you could apply, like when you think about like, how did I feel? Why is this a highlight? And really leaning into the emotion part of it, that could go paired up with your mood tracker. Maybe, kind of take a look of how that could work together. Of course, with knowledge, is there something you learned? Is that the highlight of your day? Doing that learning reflection, a role reversal, again, kind of coming to it from a third person. So, today Jennifer was delightful when she presented a social. Maybe that's something I would write, kind of write in that third person from another perspective. Yeah, I'm feeling the wind in my sails. But I love this one. This is one of my favorites. Is there a song that you could land on each day and create a physical playlist so that at the end of the month you have this highlight knowledge playlist? I thought that could be a lot of fun if you just took a song each day that kind of embraced the highlight of the day. Also, you could fill this with an affirmation each day, like an affirmation that really speaks to you about that highlight, about what brought you joy that day. It's kind of fun to frame these out into one word or two word or three word summaries. It really makes you focus and be very concise. So you might want to do 3-word reflection for the highlight of your day. If you are tracking maybe your energy level, you could think about this highlight. Where was my energy when it, and why is it a highlight? And maybe track that in conjunction with an energy tracking. And then I put it as a reflection, and really this is just a reminder that you could just write these down. But what if you're very mindful and before you ever write anything each day, you sit maybe for 5 minutes in complete silence, just thinking about that highlight before you write? How does that change that tracking? And then, as the official colorer, what color does that day represent for you? Maybe you write in that color ink, or it felt like an orange day because, and what was that highlight? So there's a bunch of ways to kind of think about making this page an extra special journal prompt reflection as you go through it each day. And of course, here we are. And I want to see your quilts. I want to see those quilts. It doesn't matter when you post them. It can be in 3 weeks when you finally get it finished, but we want to see the quilt. So the letters, if you're comfortable sharing, absolutely, but we also leave you lots of space for holding those letters to your heart. At 8 o'clock every night, my beta test hits with my coaching that I get every day, and it hit while we were gathered together. If you want more about this information wise, Malika's going to drop the link to this. We're still at that beta testing, so you can get a really good price on it, but you get your daily prompts and kudos and mantras and breathing exercises, and it's just a beautiful way to have personalized coaching without doing a coach. And then there are the QR codes that will help you refer a friend, upgrade your subscription, your survey link. Now, this has been recorded and it is going to be posted to the YouTube link within 1 or 2 days. And as we are exiting, I will put up those last 2 gratitude highlight of the day suggestions. There's my playlist. I'll also drop that in the chat. Y'all know I make a playlist for every theme we have, and they're long, but all those pretty instrumentals are on there. So if you want to listen to that, you can grab that. So I'm so honored and also very humbled to have sat with you this evening as we worked on your quilts that are going to just wrap you up with all the things all the knowledge you've gathered across life. And we're just proud of you for hanging out with us. Malika and I love spending time with our Sonder community. So we will see you soon. And yeah, Tammy, I've been doing lots of Monday morning setups. So that's kind of where I've been. But it was also good to see y'all too. Y'all have a great evening. And thanks for joining us.
Ain't got a soapbox I can stand upon, but God gave me a stage, a guitar, and a song. My daddy told me, son, don't you get involved in politics, religions, other people's quarrels. I'll paint the picture, let me set the scene. I know when I have children, they will know what it means. And I'll pass on the things my family's given to me, just love and understanding, positivity. We could change this whole world with a piano, add a bass, some guitar, grab a beat, and away we go. I'm just a boy with a one-man show. No university, no degree, but Lord knows everybody's talking about exponential growth and the stock market crashing in their portfolios, while I'll be sitting here with a song that I wrote, saying love could change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. But what do I know? Love can change the world in a moment. The revolution's coming, it's a minute away. I saw people marching in the streets today. You know we are made up of love and hate, but both of them are balanced on a razor blade. I'll paint the picture, let me set the scene. I know I'm all for people following their dreams. Just remember, life is more than fitting in your jeans. It's love and understanding, positivity. We could change this whole world with a piano, add a bass, some guitar, grab a beat, and away we go. I'm just a boy with a one-man show. No university.